Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Online Plans. How are you today? In today's video, as you can tell by the title, we are going to be doing a little bit of a plan with me and my comment planner, and this time we're going after the week of May the 22nd, is it? It made sense in my head. May 22nd all the way up to May the 28th, and in my comment planner from Sterling Inc. This is in a B6 size in case you haven't seen it. If you are brand new to planning, if you're brand new to this channel, well, welcome. I'm so glad that you have stopped by and decided to hang out with me today. So we chat a couple of times a week on this channel if you're not familiar, and we talk about minimalist planning, we talk about journaling, stationery, fountain pens, all the things that really kind of revolve around this beautiful hobby, I guess. And soon we're also going to be chatting a little bit more about books. So if you love all those things, then you should definitely hang out with me here. So my plan for this week is to kind of keep things as minimal and as functional as possible. I'm hoping to kind of give you guys some tips on how I'm planning on setting this week up. I will likely actually just put on some music. So grab your beverage. Unfortunately, I don't have a beverage in front of me at the moment because it's still fairly early for my afternoon coffee, but that's okay. Just imagine like I'm having one with you and cozy up, get maybe your reading socks on, get comfortable, and let's just dive right in. I don't really have like a particular direction I'm going with for this week. I know I wanted to use some minimal supplies, so I actually grabbed, I do have these icons. So I have the meal one. I think I have like maybe 2 left of the meal one. If you can't see it here, I will just show you guys a close-up. This one is laundry, so I think that would be good for cleaning. I have both laundry and I have the cleaning one, so I don't know which one I want to use just yet. I have one for appointments and one is like a shopping one. So I thought that these would actually be perfect for the bottom. And honestly, I was just really drawn to, if you don't know, I'm on a hunt to just kind of start using up some of my supplies as much as possible. So that's kind of what I'm going with. I'm going to be using very minimal decor. And I thought that first I would kind of set up like at least my sidebar, and then we can set everything else up after. And for pens, I'm using, okay, who is this by? This is the Hoso 025. This is in silver gray. This is by Kobaru. This was actually one of the pens that came in one of the last sub boxes that I ordered from Cloth and Paper. And some of you asked me about this little stencil. This is actually made by Hobonichi. I don't know what the name of it is. I just know that it's the one with the numbers. There's different colored ones that they have, but this is the most functional for me by far. So if you're looking, I actually picked this up right off of the Hobonichi website, but I'm sure that if you look it up on Amazon, then you can find it. Part of me wants to do an outline. Is that weird? So my initial idea is to use this marker to just do some outlines as well as to stencil in the numbers. So let's take a look at what happens. Oh, it's bleeding, no. At this point, kind of realizing that not only is it bleeding, but I'm almost too far into it. So we're gonna try the third number. This is bleeding too, I feel it. Ugh. Okay, so this is obviously not good for what I wanted it to be good for. We're starting out strong, guys. This is looking fantastic. Okay, so obviously we're going to see how we can salvage this. Towards the end, you'll see that it has been fixed and it's totally fine, but oh my goodness, it becomes so annoying when you keep having to go over certain sections and it looks all bled through and weird. Moving on. I'm using this gel pen. Don't ask me what it is. I think it's actually a collaboration. Maybe it was a cinnamon roll. I believe it's actually from Pentel. Here it is, it's going to run again. Ugh. So annoying. It's so annoying you can't even draw a straight line with this, but we'll talk about the pen in a second. So I'm switching over to, this is the Uni 1 pen. This one is in, actually I have this in cappuccino. Let me find it. I have it in like a brown and they kind of almost look identical. Here we go, I have it. This one is in cappuccino brown. So Switching over to the uni pen actually made a big difference because I wanted something to be relatively faint. You'll later on see in the video that it's actually not really going to make that big of a difference. If I kept it minimal, then this would look just perfect, but I went a different direction because honestly I just really wanted to use up some of my supplies, and some of those supplies are actually more of a minimalist planning supply. And for decor in the bottom section, I'm actually just using a little press-on floral decor. Most of these press-on floral decors have been picked up from Cute Things from Japan, and most of them are about the same. I really love this one in particular because it's like this darker brown, very minimalistic looking, and honestly it just kind of goes with any theme that you end up picking. Part of me also wants to put like a girl here. Okay, we'll come back to this. Before, I wanted to set up the main layout first before decor, which I mean I know better, but I don't know better. My initial plan here with the icons, honestly, besides just actually putting them to good use, is simply to just place them down and maybe use a highlighter. But as you will see in a moment, I'm actually going to be using the same themed minimalistic kind of washi strips, and it kind of pulls the whole look together. So I really love the way that it turns out. It took me a minute to find an actual icon for reading, but then eventually I just kind of used something that was at least as close to books as possible. I don't think, if you know, let me know in the comment section below if you know if Cloth and Paper has a book icon. I don't believe that they do, but it would be really nice if they had like these small little minimalistic icons, because that would be the place that I would end up using them. I know that they have like ones where you can use them on the monthly or workout ones, but I think the closest one that I found was actually for social media, so that's the one that I ended up going with. So this is going to be a process, but I have these little washi strips, and actually the width works perfectly. So if you have these little washi strips from Cloth and Paper, I'm not using like the best scissors here to trim them, but anyways, you kind of get the idea. I believe that these would actually be great for using them in your hobonichis as well. They do enough to kind of make things pop, where, you know, like it's wide enough and you can kind of trim it to whatever length you want. So I really actually enjoyed using them, and honestly, as you can tell, I'm pulling them up, placing them back down. So placement wise, like the adhesive is good enough where you can kind of manipulate it the way that you want. One thing to note is that, and you see me kind of rubbing the back of that sticker off, if you have ink down on your page, it will pick up the ink. So just make sure that your placement is done correctly. Now I wanted to kind of mark down some of my appointments and just events that are kind of happening for the week. So for that, I'm using the various little icons. I haven't used these black triangles, these black corner stickers. They end up popping so well off this page. I'm very, very pleased with how it actually turned out. I end up changing that, of course, because I totally forgot that tomorrow is the long weekend in Canada. And that also means that I'm actually going to be working on Monday. Don't tell anyone. It's like a whole thing. But I wanted to kind of mark down on days when I'm going to be at the clinic, and I can also mark down any appointments that are coming up. In the bottom section, we have a clean, a meal plan, don't forget. So those are going to be all the reminders. Buy and pay. The buy and pay has actually been really, really helpful because I end up kind of marking down throughout the week anything and everything that I kind of forget to buy that is outside of like the norm of what we would normally purchase. So it would be stupid things like, oh, I forgot to buy Drano, or oh, I know that I need to pick up some sunscreen because we're out of it. So it's not something that I would buy regularly, but that little prompt always it just kind of reminds me to just keep track of something that would be out of the ordinary. So it's a really helpful prompt. And here they are, the spotlight stickers. Honestly, me drawing in the line was completely redundant, but nevertheless, it made me feel good that I color coordinated it. And I really, really love the way that the spotlight stickers or page flags have kind of worked out in this regard, because it allows me to kind of move things around as things change if I have to stay longer. So it becomes really versatile, especially on a spread like this one. And honestly, I didn't have to use any extra dot stickers, so kudos to that. Now, as far as decor is concerned, I'm going to be putting down the girl to the right hand side. So here's like the big PET tape with all of the girls. So I'm just kind of trying to find the one that will actually fit, and it will fit the theme. And then in the meanwhile, I just placed a few of the little floral accents from Sterling ink. Again, I'm definitely on a mission to kind of just use up as much of my old stash as humanly possible. And if you have like all of these different various kits that have just like a few leftover stickers, I would honestly encourage you to just kind of grab them. And as long as they are kind of in the same category, you can kind of pull the colors together, because most of these sticker sheets are relatively muted. And like, see right here, I had like one sticker left, so obviously we're going to be using it up. When I only have like 1 or 2 or 3 of these like accents left, then I do my best to just kind of use them up under one spread. And oh my gosh, it's so satisfying when it's like, okay, finally this kit is finished. And even though it's not overly bombarded with a lot of decor, it kind of doesn't matter. It makes me so happy that I can actually leave space for this weekly spread to be more functional than anything else. Although I have to say, I do actually have a pretty busy week, so the page flags are definitely helpful in this regard. Here we go. Okay, let me zoom out. I will show you guys a close-up in a second, but I think this is the finished spread. I feel like this is super empty. I don't know. I might actually come back and add more to it, but honestly, my goal with this week's spread was actually to keep it minimal so that it doesn't look like the previous week. I'm considering taking away the reflections. I'm going to just change it so that it becomes more of a bullet point reflection, because I'm not filling it out. At least to me, this whole thing just becomes a lot of wasted space. So this is basically all I have for you. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe. Let me know. Here's your question of the day and your question of the week, I guess. Let me know, what is your favorite tool that you love using in your common planner, if you use a common planner. Comment below, let me know. And in the meanwhile, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. You can support me here. You can also support me on Patreon if you would like to get more behind the scenes videos from me, or if you absolutely love books, then our top tier has a secret book club, which I'm so excited about. But nevertheless, just the fact that you are here and you're hanging out with me means absolutely the world to me. So thank you so much, you guys. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye.